You ever find yourself trying to explain something you think is super simple and you just end up tying yourself in knots? Yeah, me too. We kind of think using big, complicated words makes us sound smart, right? But the real genius, the true mastery, is making the complex, well, simple. So today, we're going to dig into that exact idea by looking at the very tool we're using right now, language itself. Let's dive in.
No, I mean, really think about it for a second. How would you explain a word you use every day, something like table or water, to someone who's never heard it? And you can't just point at it. It's way harder than it sounds, isn't it? Even words we think we know inside and out can be a huge challenge to define simply.
All right, so to see how this works in the real world, let's just zoom in on one specific word. A word we all think we know, insect. And we're going to check out its entry from a really fascinating source, the Simple English Wiktionary. Trust me, it's a perfect example of this whole idea of intentional simplicity in action.
Okay, check this out. The definition is so direct. There's no fancy jargon, no crazy scientific terms. It just says a type of small animal with an external skeleton and 6 legs. Boom, that's it. It's clean, it's clear, and it gives you the 3 key things you need to know. It's just beautifully simple.
And then it does something brilliant. It doesn't just leave you with the definition, it backs it up with concrete examples. So instead of just giving you the rule, it shows you the rule in action. You can immediately picture crickets and ants, and you instantly connect them to the definition we just saw. It just clicks.
The entry also gives you a super common synonym, bug. And this is such a clever little shortcut, right? It connects this new word, insect, to a word that pretty much everyone already knows. It's like building an instant bridge to understanding. Just another layer to make sure the information is as accessible as possible.
And to make it even more clear, the source actually uses a picture dictionary. So you get this whole visual library of examples. You see the ant, the bee, the dragonfly. It just helps cement that definition in your brain.
Okay, so let's just pause for a second. We can all agree this is super effective, right? But why? Is it just, a happy accident of good writing? Or is there a bigger system at play here? What is the secret sauce behind all this simplicity?
All right, this is where it gets really, really interesting. The biggest clue, the key to this whole thing, it isn't actually in the definition itself. Nope, it's hidden in plain sight, tucked away right at the bottom of the page.
And there it is. This is that aha moment. Insect is on the basic English 850 list. That one little sentence, it changes everything. It tells us this isn't just some random definition somebody wrote up. No, it's part of a much bigger, carefully designed system.
So the key here is that number, 850. And that is not just some random number pulled out of thin air. It represents a very specific, carefully chosen list of 850 foundational English words. This list is the absolute core of a system that's all about clarity.
And this system has a name. It's called Basic English. It was actually created way back in the 1930s. The whole idea was to make a simplified version of English that could be a tool for teaching, English as a second language, and for just clear communication between countries. The thinking is that with just these 850 words, you can say almost anything you need to say.
Okay, so now that we know about this basic English 850 list, let's go back and look at that insect entry again. And suddenly everything just clicks into place, doesn't it? All those choices, the simple words, the direct examples, it's all part of the plan. It's all by design.
And look at this. The entry doesn't even stop with the literal 6-legged animal definition. It actually uses this simple, concrete word, insect, to explain a way more abstract figurative idea, a person who is weak or not important. So it's using one of its basic building blocks to describe a really complex social concept. How cool is that?
And the example sentence really drives that point home. The mayor thought of her as a mere insect. This is what shows you the real power of the system. You take one of your core 850 words and you use it as a metaphor to unlock a whole new, much wider range of expression.
But wait, there's more. The entry also works as a kind of launchpad to more complex vocabulary. It links our core word, insect, to related, more technical terms like exoskeleton, colony, and hive. So it's showing you how this simple foundation can be used to build a way bigger structure of knowledge.
And this right here is the key takeaway. A system like Basic English, it's not about dumbing down the language or limiting what people can say. The goal is actually the exact opposite. It's about building a super strong, really stable foundation so that you can then explore and understand more complex ideas with confidence.
So what we've really seen here is a kind of blueprint for being clear, right? Step 1, start with a core word. Step 2, give a simple definition. Step 3, back it up with clear examples. And step 4, use that to connect to bigger ideas. It's a pattern that literally anyone can use to explain things better.
See, it's not just about picking easy words. It's about having a thoughtful, structured approach to how you communicate. When you focus on a clear foundation and then build on it step by step, well, you can explain almost anything to almost anyone. And that is the power of structured simplicity.
So, I'll leave you with this question. If a carefully chosen set of just 850 words can do all this, define an animal, explain a metaphor, and even connect to scientific concepts, what could they explain for you? What's a complex idea in your world that you could make simple by starting with a clear foundation?